the roof, but I can tell you it's John Rodder, because Peter Reeves unfortunately broke a couple of bones in his hand competing at Warrnambool in Victoria a couple of weeks ago, and John's slotted into the seat for him and done a very good job so far in practice and the first night's racing last night. And I can tell you he made the comment last night that Latrobe is the fastest track that he has seen anywhere in Australia, and to get sort of a comment like that from a man of that experience, that speaks volumes for this circuit, and I think you're going to see some pretty quick times tonight. Roof number 27 just going past the tower here. In the Tennant taxi truck entry there, that's the reigning Northern Territory champion, Terry Rickstein. This fella is absolutely deadly serious about coming down here for the Australian title. He's been to 5 of them before, but he had to drive 41 hours from Tennant Creek to Melbourne just to put the car on the boat. And he's deadly serious. He was pretty good last night, picked up a few placings as well, and he's got to be a big show. As I said, he wouldn't come all that way just for the scenery. Heading down the back straight in roof number 48, Trevor Robinson from Hobart in Tasmania. Trevor campaigned an RX-7 with mixed success here for the last couple of years, but now he's upgraded to the red Ford EA Falcon with a number 55 on the door that you see heading down towards the pit gates there now, and Trevor Robinson also doing a great job and getting in amongst them. Have I missed anyone, Ron?
They're out there, mate.
Roof number 44, I haven't picked him up yet. That's Will Turvey, sorry, heading past the joinery product sign out of turn 2 into the back straight. Will Turvey from Hobart, another surprise packet. Talk about these Hobart guys being a surprise packet this weekend. He was the 10th fastest in qualifying on Thursday night with a quick lap of 16.11, and he's definitely a bit of a surprise packet. Was in amongst the placings last night and doing a good job. Now have a look at the man they've got to beat. This is him coming up towards the tower now, roof number 41. 3 times Australian champion and 2 times New South Wales champion, Grenville Anderson. This man was sold for $800 in the Calcutta on Wednesday night. The next nearest bid was $300, so there's obviously a bit of smart money on him. He set the fastest time at practice on Thursday night and then came out here last night and absolutely blitzed them. He won 3 out of 3. One of those was from the rear of the grid, and in doing so, he also went within 1/10 of the lap record here at the Peter Jackson International Raceway. A great effort, and he's the man they've got to beat tonight. He's well on his way to pole position if he can maintain that sort of pace, and probably well on his way to an unprecedented 4th Australian Championship. Heading up into turn 1 there, roof number 22. The old man of Tasmanian Speedway, and I know he won't get upset about that because we mean it in the nicest possible way. That's Neville Harper, roof number 22 from Hellyer Beach in Tasmania. Neville's been around for many, many years. He's won 5 Tasmanian championships. He won an Australian championship in Open Sedans in 1988. Very impressive last night. He won a heat and picked up a couple of placings as well. And he's got to be one of the big possibilities for here from Tasmania on his home track. He's been racing here at Latrobe for something like 25 years, and if that isn't experience, I don't know what is. Roof number 10, coming towards the tower now here. Anthony Mannion from Beaconsfield in Tasmania. Anthony Mannion, one of the more successful drivers here in the state this year, has picked up 2 feature wins. He was also in the top 10 in practice on Thursday night, and I think he picked up a win last night and also 1 or 2 placings. Roof number 38, right behind him, Craig Vosberg, and that's the car that we said had to be virtually rebuilt after he destroyed the engine last night after pulling off one of the most sensational outside passing moves seen here at Latrobe for many a year. Just going past the tower now, here in roof number 24, John Spitter Medcraft from Launceston in Tasmania. That is one of the quickest 6-cylinder cars that you will see anywhere in the country. John's picked up 2 feature wins here in Tasmania this year, and as the name on the bonnet says, he spits it every now and again, but I tell you what, if these mainlanders upset him, they'll be sorry they did, because once he gets going, there's no stopping him, and we wish him all the best tonight. Back behind him in roof number 46, Bob Mclaughlin from Launceston in Tasmania, one of the veterans of Tasmanian Speedway. He's been around for many, many years. I think his age is actually a couple of numbers in front of his roof number. Thanks, Bob. And of course, he's a former sprint car driver, changed to super sedans last year, and he's got a reputation as a hard charger, and believe you me, if it gets tough, Bob can mix it up with the best of them. Coming past the tower here now in roof number 42, Robbie Foggo from Launceston, Tasmania. He's another one that's been a bit of a surprise packet. He was up there amongst them last night. I don't think he won a heat. He might have got a 2nd and a 3rd, but again, that car is only powered by a 6-cylinder Chrysler engine of all things, and that's a real credit for Robbie to be up here amongst the best in the country and really mixing it up with them. Roof number 45, going towards the pit turn there now, is Tony Grinstead from Victoria, former 2 times Australian champion. 4 times Victorian champion. Tony was also involved in the same major bingle that took out David Triffitt's car last night. They had to do fairly extensive repairs to the front of the car. He's out here, and you wouldn't even know it to look at it that it was in a major bingle last night. But being a former 2 times Australian champion, he's been there, he knows what it's all about, and he's definitely got to be a big threat.
Current Tasmanian champion David Nichols. David, without question, I know you'll represent Tasmania proudly this weekend to the Australian title. How do you see your chances?
I think we've got a pretty good hope, especially on our home track. We're going to give it the best shot we can give it.
David, the big stars from the mainland are all here, but it doesn't seem to upset you at all?
No, I've raced against them 3 times now, and they're hard charges. If you just make the racing clean, it'll be good.
The other thing is you're backed up by a good Tasmania contingent.
That's right. I reckon we've got one of the best groups of cars in Australia, so I think we'll give them a real good run for their money.
Okay, well, there's not much more we can say. What about the fiasco in Hobart last week? Was you pleased about that?
No, it was a bit rude what was going on, but I think a few people will probably learn out of what happened down there.
Okay, thank you. That's the Tasmanian champion.
Australian Super Sedan Championship. On the pole there we've got the big bad Bert Vosberg from Western Australia. On the outside of him, Paul O'Neill from New South Wales. We get a start now and away they go. It's Vosberg in the lead from O'Neill in roof number 7. The next one through in car 16 is Ron Pine from New South Wales. Also going there is the American driver in Ronnie Adams in roof number 24. They come round towards the tower now. Vosberg gets the D to Massa Pontera, really cranked up now. He's got the thing going in a straight line through the turns now, and he's starting to get away a little bit now from Paul O'Neill. Down the back straight they go. It's Vosberg leading from O'Neill. The next one through is still Ron Pine from New South Wales, and then we've got the American driver there in Ronnie Adams in roof number 26, doing a great job too, he is. The big gap back now is to the next one through would be Craig Vosberg in roof number 38, followed by Jared Harper from Tasmania in roof number 2. But the leaders through the pit turn already. Bert Vosberg doing a great job, but look at O'Neill now starting to make a challenge. He's trying to get underneath the Pantera there, but there's not enough room. As Bert gets the power down the back straight he goes now and starts to pull away just a little bit from O'Neill. O'Neill in roof number 7 and Vosberg in roof number 14 coming towards the tower now. He's really got this thing worked out after last night. He was all over the place, but he's got the power down where it counts tonight, and that's down on the track. He leads them down the back straight now, about 20 metres getting away just a little bit from O'Neill in roof number 7. O'Neill in the black car, the one from New South Wales, trying desperately to make up ground on the West Australian veteran, but he's not making any impression as Vosberg goes down the back straight one more time now. Bert Vosberg, Big Bad Bert they call him, and he's at his biggest and his baddest right here and right now. He leads them round past the tower. He's led from start to finish so far. Vosberg from Paul O'Neill in roof number 7. A big gap now of about 80 metres back to the 3rd place car of Ronnie Pine from New South Wales, getting a bit of a pressure now from the roof number 26, and that's Ronnie Adams from the USA. The next car about another 50 metres behind them would be Jared Harper, the leading Tasmanian in this heat at this stage. Bert Vosberg down the back straight he goes now, leading the way into the pit turn. Roof number 14 doing a great job in the Pantera. He comes past the tower now sideways, but he's got plenty of power down. He goes into the back straight now, about 20 metres clear from Paul O'Neill. A big gap back to the 3rd place car of Ronnie Pine from New South Wales, and still on his tail we find we've got the American driver in Ronnie Adams. But almost half a lap in front of them. In fact, just going into the back straight now, it's still Bert Vosberg. But I'll tell you what, Paul O'Neill is starting to catch up ever so slowly now as they work their way through the traffic. It's Vosberg leading the way. They come past the tower now. He's sideways again, but he's getting the power down in the Pantera. O'Neill pokes the nose of the Camaro up underneath there, but there's no room because Vosberg's too tidy. Down the back straight they go now. They're coming up on the slower traffic again, but I'll tell you what, Vosberg will go around them like they're standing still. It's Vosberg past the tower again. O'Neill looking up underneath there. Vosberg's gone. O'Neill's through to the lead. Paul O'Neill and Vosberg stalled it on turn 2 as the yellows come out. We'll get a stoppage. Bert Vosberg had only himself to blame for that one. The big bad man from Western Australia, now he gets the thing going, but he caused the stoppage, so he'll find himself rear of grid for the restart. But I'll tell you what, that thing is a marked improvement from last night, Ron.
Certainly is, and I think what I said earlier, it proves the way the car's set up. It seems he needs nearly all of the width of the circuit to handle it, and that's the way that it goes the quickest, as we've just seen. And he gets into a little bit of traffic. It certainly takes a bit of the edge off on the horsepower, but certainly one heck of a quick machine, Martin.
We're going to get a restart now. Bert Vosberg finally found his way to the back of the field. Paul O'Neill will lead them round towards the tower now, and they're off and racing too. It's Paul O'Neill leading the way. Into the back straight he goes now, about 20 metres clear from Ronnie Pine in roof number 16. The next one through would be Ronnie Adams in the roof number 26 from the USA, but it's checkered flag time as they come round towards the tower now, and Paul O'Neill will take the victory from Ronnie Pine. Next one across the line will be Ronnie Adams from the USA, followed by Darren Harper from Tasmania, John Rodder from Victoria, and comes in the rear. And poor old Bert had no one to blame but himself to go down, and the green's down and away they go. Off the front it's Aylan leading the way. Back behind him in roof number 43 is Steve Brearley from Hobart. Look at Brearley trying to get away underneath there, but there's no room. Right behind him in roof number 6 we've got Peter Rogers from Port Sorell. The next one through is Johnny Medcraft from Launceston in Tasmania, followed by Anthony Mannion in roof number 10. Trying to get away through there in roof number 45 is the Victorian champion Tony Grinstead. Grinstead now getting around the outside of Medcraft as they go down the back straight, and he moves up into 5th place, but the man out in front, Peter Aylan, has got right away from them now. He leads them into the home turn in roof number 9, the big yellow Chevy Camaro. Down the back straight he goes now, about 40 metres clear he is, doing a great job there, the old veteran, the old man of Tasmanian Speedway. He's won 3 Tasmanian titles and an Australian title, and he's after his 2nd Australian title here this weekend. Aylan leads them into the back straight one more time. About 50 metres now behind him, we've got Peter Rogers also from Tasmania in roof number 6. The next one through is Anthony Mannion also from Tasmania. It's a Tasmanian trifecta so far in this heat, with Mannion in 3rd place. About 20 metres behind him now, we've got the Victorian champion Tony Grinstead making up ground. In fact, he closes right up on Mannion in that time, but Mannion gets a bit more power down the back straight and starts to put pressure on Peter Rogers in 2nd place in roof number 6. But the leader still coming towards the tower now, and into turn 1 is Peter Aylan from Latrobe in Tasmania. The veteran on his home track doing a great job down the back straight now, about 100 metres clear and getting away further with every lap. The next one through is Peter Rogers in roof number 6. The white Camaro now, Anthony Mannion in roof number 10, looking for a way underneath that time, but he didn't have the power to match the Camaro of Rogers as they head back up into turn 2 and into the back straight. Tony Grinstead from Victoria in roof number 45, hanging on there, Graeme Lee in 12th place, and right behind him we've got big bad Alan Baker from New South Wales, doing a great job too there in the number 12 car. It's Baker right at the back of that bunch, but he's got nowhere to go because Grinstead's moving along in front of him now. In fact, he gets up underneath Anthony Mannion down the back straight there, side by side. A great battle here for 3rd place. We'll stick with these guys for a while because the one out in front has got the thing shot to pieces, and the race at this stage is on for the minors. Peter Rogers leading the way in the bunch for the minor placings there down the back straight in roof number 6. Anthony Mannion in 10 trying to find a way through there. Alan Baker now gets underneath Tony Grinstead in roof number 12 as Grinstead appears to be losing power there in the 45 car. In fact, it sounded like it was a little bit off song as it came past the tower. It's Rogers still leading that bunch for 2nd place at the moment now. Mannion had a look underneath that time in roof number 10, and Alan Baker now there in roof number 12. It looks like Grinstead's got the thing going again. There was a temporary misfire as he tacks back onto the back of that bunch, but he hasn't got much time left because there's only 2 laps to go. The leader now into the pit turn is still Peter Aylan coming up on the slower traffic. Which way will he go? He's got a wall of cars in front of him now. They go round the outside of John West in the 4 car. Round the outside of Barry Radford he goes in the 13 car and down the back straight for the final time. Peter Aylan, the veteran from Latrobe, on his home track, goes into the pit turn for the final time, and he'll take the checkered flag with a very decisive victory in Heat 13. Heat 14, I should say. Next through would be Anthony Mannion in roof number 10 from Tasmania, and the third car, third car across the line would be Peter Rogers in roof number 6, also from Tasmania. For Heat 16, Heat 16 it is now, coming 15, I should say, coming towards us now. Down goes the green and away they go. Scotcher straight away to the lead. The reigning Australian champion out in front now, about 20 metres clear, getting away from Phil Townsend in roof number 34. The next one through is Bob Mclaughlin in 46, also from Tasmania. Right behind him is Pedro Smith from New South Wales in roof number 25. The next one through would be Craig Lockwood from Tasmania in roof number 11. And the 36 car of Michael Gray, also from Tasmania. The leader, though, into the pit turn, the reigning Australian champion, Brad Scotcher, chasing 2 on a row here. He's after the title, he's trying to retain the title, and he's doing a pretty good job so far. He picked up a win last night, and I think a 2nd and a 3rd, and if he wins this heat, this will put him in a very valuable position going into the final tonight. It's Scotcher from South Australia, the leader at this stage. The reigning Australian champion comes past the tower now. Oh, Townsend's gone. Phil Townsend to the infield in the second place car. The 34 number, he's gone onto the infield there. There's something obviously gone sadly amiss, and that's just left Scotcher absolutely miles in front, way out there in no man's land. He's almost half a lap clear. This is the Australian champion at his absolute best, just showing them what sort of stuff he's made of. I'll tell you what, if he keeps this thing going like this all night, he's got to be a big chance to retain the title now. He's almost 100 metres clear from the rest of the field, and we've only gone 4 laps. Scotcher now past the tower one more time. A big gap now, almost 150 metres. He's just increasing this lead with every turn of the crank as he goes down the back straight now in the big Pontiac. This is the Pontiac attack at its best. Brad Scotcher from Scotcher Bitumen and Scotcher Petroleum, I should say, as he sponsors in Adelaide, doing a great job, and they'll be pretty happy with it. Down the back straight he goes now. He's well clear in the beautifully prepared Pontiac there. A Pontiac Firebird, in fact, doing a great job now. It looks pretty smooth too as it comes past the tower, and it sounds even better. Brad Scotcher, the reigning Australian champion, down the back straight. He's well clear. He's half a lap now. That's almost 200 metres in front of the rest of the field. We'll just drop back and go with them for a little while as they come into the back straight. It's Bob Mclaughlin now in roof number 46 from Tasmania, leading the way from Craig Lockwood, also from Launceston in Tasmania. The next one through in roof number 25, Pedro Smith from New South Wales. And we've got a good battle here for the miners as they go into the back straight one more time. Mclaughlin leading the way in the Falcon, the number 46. The next one through, as I said, Craig Lockwood in a Commodore, roof number 11. This is the man that's won 4 features in Tasmania, and he was a pretty good competitor last night in the lead-up heats and doing a great job now as he goes to the outside to try and get round big bad Bob Mclaughlin. Mclaughlin still leads him though into the back straight, but Lockwood hasn't given up any hope yet. He gives him a bit of a nudge that time on the back to say, look out Bobby, I'm here and I want to get through. Now he switches to the outside and gets the power down as they go through turns 1 and 2. He'll get a better run into the back straight this time. Lockwood's got plenty of power under the bonnet there of the Chev powered Commodore. Now he just pokes it in front very easily now, but there's a bit more drive underneath, so Bob Mclaughlin's able to keep the pedal down as they come past the tower here. Now Lockwood gets well round the outside. In fact, Bob Mclaughlin a bit untied at that time, gave Pedro Smith a serve, but round in front of the tower, the leader's taken the checkered flag already, and that's Brad Scotcher, went miles past, 3/4 of a lap in front. He'll take the win easily from Craig Lockwood, now crossing the line for second place. A great race here for third, couldn't pick it.
Brad Scotcher from South Australia. Congratulations, Brad, on the achievements. Australia won, Victoria won, and South Australia won. A wonderful effort. But how do you see your chances tonight?
Well, there's a lot of competition here, Peter. There's a lot of mainland cars fast. I haven't seen the Tasmanian drivers go yet, not because we've been worrying about our own car, but I think the competition is going to be very tough. There's not the cars here as there is in the mainland titles, but the guys that have come over have come to win, so basically you've probably got the same competition level anyway.
Did you watch Grenville Anderson go at all?
Yeah, we had one run with him. I didn't get to see him run, but he actually lined up, so we quickly dived in behind him to go out with him, and yeah, he was fast. He set fastest lap time yesterday, but admittedly he had the best track to do it. Then when the track started to rut up, it sort of brought a few people back a few pegs. But yeah, I think Grenville's going to run pretty good. He's got a lot of people putting pressure on him to win and so on. But I guess he'll take this distance every normal race.
Well, Brad, you're the Australian reigning champion tonight. You've got everything before you, and I only hope that you can do it again.
Thank you very much, Peter.
They come towards the tower now and they're going to get a start very soon, and away they go in fact, and David Nichols, the reigning Tasmanian champion, straight off the outside pole onto the front there, but right behind him is that man Grenville Anderson. Look at Anderson, the 3 times Australian champion. He's the man who's really set them alight here this weekend, and he's going to try and do it again now. Looks underneath Nichols, pokes the big Commodore up underneath Nichols there, but there's no room now. Nichols, I reckon he must know that Grenville Anderson's right behind him, and he's got to be worried about it. We've got a yellow flag out. There's a stoppage because there's one gone down on the turn 4 there, spun around. I can't see who it is from here. The sun's shining the wrong way to pick up the roof number, but it looks like it's probably a Camaro. So we'll just have a quick look through the field and see who's not there. As they go down the back straight now, it's Michael Bogorski on the inside and David Nichols on the outside, but the man to watch on the outside of the second row is Grenville Anderson from New South Wales. Oh, very untidy start there. There were more shunts there than Thomas the Tank Engine and his friends, and more T-bones than a butcher's shop window. But they keep going now down the back straight. In fact, the stewards have let them go this time, and it's David Nichols leading the way again from Tasmania into the home turn. The reigning Tasmanian champion gets it cranked up going into the back straight now, but but right behind him is Grenville Anderson from New South Wales and Neville Harper from Tasmania in car 22. The yellows have come out though as Darren Kane goes round on the infield in the back straight there, and Stuart Robinson in fact stops right here in the front of the tower. Very lucky not to get cleaned up by Neville Harper as he came through there at a rate of knots, and people are signalling to me here in very minute signals saying that it was very close where they're coming from too, as Nichols goes off into the lead now, the reigning state champion. Right behind him is Michael Bogorski now in car 17. He's cut Anderson off that time, but Anderson blasts underneath now. Down the back straight he goes. Grenville Anderson from New South Wales. He's looking for a perfect score. He's won 3 out of 3 here last night. Can he pick up the 4th heat win at here tonight? It's David Nichols, though, the reigning Tasmanian champion, leading the way down the back straight now. Anderson had a look underneath there, but Nichols kept it down low, and he's going to make Anderson work hard for the lead. Anderson now putting all sorts of pressure over Nichols as the two Commodores come towards the tower now. In fact, Anderson was right on the bumper bar of Nichols as they came past us, and in fact he gave him a bit of a push too. Now Anderson blasts underneath, but Nichols has got the power to match him down the outside. Anderson gets a better run through the pit turn now. Nichols keeps the foot flat to the floor. They come past the tower, side by side. It's anybody's race now. Nichols hasn't backed off 1 inch, and he's keeping Anderson at bay now, but Anderson gets a better run down the inside, and Grenville Anderson on his way again. Into the pit turn he goes now onto the home straight. The New South Welshman doing it pretty well at this stage, getting away now from David Nichols in 2nd place. About a 20-metre gap we've got between 1st and 2nd. Then 50 metres further behind him we find we've got Neville Harper from Tasmania, the veteran from Hellier Beach, doing a great job there as they go past the car of Will Turvey or Michael Bogorski. It is down the back straight, and he's just idling around, but the stewards are letting it go at this stage. The leader now, Grenville Anderson, down the back straight he goes. He's about 40 metres clear now from David Nichols as they go past the stricken Bogorski in pit turn. They come past the tower now. Anderson getting the Commodore absolutely cranked up. He's got plenty of power under the bonnet, and he's putting it all to good use now as he leads them down the back straight in front of the pack stands. Into the pit turn he goes now, around past the tower again, idles, they go past the stricken Bogorski again, still out there circulating ever so slowly. He obviously wants to pick up a point or two for the final, but it's Anderson, the man they've got to beat at this stage. Well clear, about 80 metres now from David Nichols, and it's absolutely devastating the way he's demolishing this field, getting well away now. Anderson picking his way through the traffic as they head into the back straight. About 80 metres behind him now, we've got David Nichols in roof number 21 coming under a bit of pressure from the 3rd place car now of Neville Harper, the veteran from Hellier Beach in Tasmania. Harper now looks underneath Nichols there, but he got a bit untidy that time in the big Thunderbird as they came towards the tower. We'll stick with these two at the moment because it's a good race for 2nd, and I don't think there's anything they can do about running the man down in front. Nichols now gets away a little bit down the back straight, but Harper will close up. In fact, it's checkered flag time in front of the tower for the winner. Grenville Anderson takes the 4th win in a row for the New South Wales champion. A brilliant win there for Grenville Anderson. He takes it by about 100 metres from David Nichols, the reigning Tasmanian champion, in roof number 21, and 3rd across the line will be Neville Harper from Tasmania in roof number 22.
Neville, the Australian Super Sedan for 1992-93. How do you see your chances?
Well, I guess we've got to be quietly confident, Peter, given that we've raced on this same track for 25 years. We would dearly love to have a good result in front of our home crowd. I guess that's everybody's dream.
Neville, I think I'm right in saying this. The cars that have come across, we haven't overpowered with them, about 23 or 24, but by gee, any of them could win it.
Yeah, well, this has probably been the most wide-open title that I've been to, and I've been to quite a few, but all the ones that have come over are obviously here with the idea of winning, and they've definitely got a chance.
The younger brigade with Tasmania's producing started to come through the rings too.
Yes, well, as both you and I predicted, Peter, some of these younger drivers here are really going to hit the straps before long, and this may be the time that we'll see it. We've got Stephen Triffett, Darren Kane, Jared, not just a name but a few, and I think they can match it with anyone in the country.
Okay, on behalf of all Tasmanians, Neville, good luck.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Okay, they go down the back straight now. We're about to get a start in Heat 17 of the 1993 Peter Jackson Australian Super Sedan Championship. They go off the front. It's Alan Baker from New South Wales leading the way in roof number 12, but look at John Rodder, the Victorian, in the Mazda RX-7 getting around the outside, and here comes the big bad Yankee Ronnie Adams in the number 26 car, pushes his way underneath up into 2nd place now. Big bad Bert Vosberg in the number 14, D. Tommaso Pantera, looking for a way underneath Darren Harper from Tasmania in roof number 2. They go down the back straight, and Vosberg, he pushed Harper way up high into the wall that time. Now he's leaning all over Harper. In fact, he pushed Harper way out that time and spun him around as the yellows come out. And I don't know what the stewards will make of that one. I've got my own opinion, but I won't say too much. But I think Bert... We're about to get a restart, though, in heat number 17. Alan Baker from New South Wales will lead them down to the pit turn in roof number 12. The next one behind him would be Ronnie Adams in roof number 26, the American, followed by John Rodder in 37. As they get a restart now, and Baker blasts away off the line. He puts a bit of daylight between himself and Adams, but Adams closes right up under brakes that time into turn 2. Out on the back straight they go now, and Baker starts to pull away a little bit, but look at Adams under brakes. He gets right up underneath Baker that time. He's got a bit more power as they come down the home straight this time. It's Adams from the USA putting pressure all over the back of the New South Welshman out in front there in roof. Oh, and they've gone around 2. There's a bingle in turn 2. Jared Harper just missed that one, but John Rodder it was from Victoria, and Paul O'Neill from New South Wales involved in that one. Rodder gets a restart there. Also, O'Neill gets it going now too, but the yellows have come out and we'll get a restart. I'm not sure how many laps they've gone. It may even be a complete restart or perhaps just an Indian file restart. As they come round towards the tower for a restart, it's Alan Baker leading the way off the pole now. He's about 20 metres clear now from Ronnie Adams, but Adams trying desperately to make up ground. The American in roof number 26 down the back straight he goes now in the big red Commodore. He closes up under brakes that time on Baker as they come round towards the home turn one more time. It's Baker still hanging on desperately for the lead from Ronnie Adams now. Adams pokes the nose of the Commodore underneath there, but there's no room because Baker keeps it nice and low, and Baker's going to make Adams earn every inch if he can. Now Baker goes high, and Adams gets underneath there. He almost gave him a touch that time, but Baker kept the foot flat to the boards as they came past the tower, and he's got a better run of the back straight this time now. It's Baker leading the way down the back straight. It's a great race out in front, so we'll stick with these two for a while. The leader is Alan Baker from New South Wales. Ronnie Adams up underneath him that time. He gave him a touch that time, and he said, look out, Al, Armour coming through, the big bad Yankee. Ronnie Adams trying to get round the outside now. There's no room there, though. He has to switch back underneath as they go down the back straight. Oh, he mucked it up that time. He really went in hard, and he had to jam the brakes because Baker wasn't backing off at all. It's Baker from New South Wales in roof number 12, Ronnie Adams in roof number 26. A great race out in front between these two. Great precision driving, there's nothing between them. It's a matter of inches between the back of Baker's car and the front of Adams as they come towards the tower one more time now. Baker goes out high, but Adams is forced to go out high with him because he wasn't backing off either. They drifted out together now, but Baker's keeping it low, and Adams is getting a little bit untidy behind as he starts to lose ground now. Baker down to the pit turn in roof number 12. Right behind him, Ronnie Adams, the American based in Victoria, in the big red Commodore, roof number 26. There's nothing in it between these two. As we move back about 40 metres behind them, there's also a great dice developing now for third place between John Rodder in roof number 37 from Victoria and Paul O'Neill from New South Wales in the number 7 car. A great race for second and third, a great race for first and second. I don't know where to look because there's a gap of about 80 metres between the two great races here. But we'll stick with the leaders now. Down the back straight they go into pit turn. It's still Alan Baker. He's led from the start so far, but Ronnie Adams from the USA has not backed off 1 centimetre. They go into the back straight one more time. It's still Baker holding Ronnie Adams at bay. We go back about 100 metres to the brace for second and third, and Paul O'Neill has got through into third place now with 1.5 laps to go. The leader's now coming past the tower. It's still Alan Baker. He comes past with a white flag from the stewards indicating 1 lap to go. Down the back straight he goes now for the last time, and he's got away from Ronnie Baker. I think he can, from Ronnie Adams, he can smell victory this time, can Alan Baker. He comes round towards the tower to greet the checkered flag. A great win from the New South Walesman. Second place will go to Ronnie Adams from the USA. Third place will go to Paul O'Neill from New South Wales. John Rodder from Victoria. The next run through will be Jared Harper from Tasmania, followed by Phil O'Connor from Tasmania. We're about to get a start now in heat 18 of the 1993 Peter Jackson Australian Super Sedan Championship. There's a bit of pushing and shoving at the back of the grid there. We'll see whether the stewards let them go this time. Yes, they have, in fact, and off the front it's Tony Grinstead from Victoria leading the way. Grinstead down the back straight now in roof number 45. He's leading the way, the Victorian in the big Commodore now. He comes round towards the tower, about 20 metres clear from Steve Brearley it is from Tasmania in roof number 43. Getting around the outside of him now is Ronnie Pine from New South Wales. No, Pine can't do it because Brearley kept the foot flat going into the back straight now. Pine gets around the outside this time, and right behind him is the former Australian champion Peter Aylett on his home track here at Latrobe, going great guns now. Aylett up into third place, and he's really putting pressure on Ronnie Pine from New South Wales. But out in front, about 100 metres clear from Pine, we find with Stuart, the Victorian champion, Tony Grinstead, in roof number 45. He comes round towards the tower now, and Ronnie Pine starts to close up now in roof number 16, the next one through in roof number 9. On his home track, the veteran Peter Aylett from Latrobe. In the Chev Camaro now, starting to drop back just a little bit now. He's about 100 metres behind the race for the lead, which at this stage is between Tony Grinstead in roof number 45 and Ronnie Pine in roof number 16. It's the former Australian champion, 4 times Victorian champion. Oh, Ronnie Pine's underneath him now. Pine up into the lead down the back straight, and Grinstead has to settle for second place in the 45 car, but he's going to put a bit more pressure now on Pine. He tries to switch back underneath as they come past the tower. It's Ronnie Pine from New South Wales leading the way from Tony Grinstead from Victoria. A big gap back now, about 80 metres. We find we've got Peter Aylett from Tasmania leading along the charge. Right behind him, Robbie Foggo also from Tasmania. Michael Gray from Tasmania. And again, another Tasmanian. We've got Peter Rogers there, but Grinstead's gone around on turn 4. He spun it out, the former 2 times Australian champion, 4 times Victorian champion. Did it all by himself there on turn 4. Well, they're going to restart now in heat number 18 of the Australian Super Sedan Championship. It's Ronnie Pine from New South Wales leading him off the start at this stage in the roof number 16. He gets away just a little bit now from Peter Aylett down the back straight in roof number 9. The next one through is Michael Gray in 36. The Tasmanians are 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th at this stage. And right behind them we've got Pedro Smith from New South Wales in roof number 25. And that's the leading bunch at this stage, getting away a little bit now from the rest of the field. But out in front, the man doing it pretty well at this stage is still Ronnie Pine from New South Wales in roof number 16. Got a little bit mucked up that time, but he had enough of a lead to be able to compensate for it and still maintain first place. As he heads down the back straight now, Ronnie Pine from New South Wales in roof number 16 in the Chev Camaro, leading the way. Into the pit turn he goes now. Got the thing a little bit sideways that time, but the rest of the pack weren't quick enough to take advantage of him, and they're still about probably 50 metres behind him at this stage. The second place man is still Peter Aylett from Tasmania, getting away a little bit now from the Chev Camaro, number 36 of Michael Gray, also from Tasmania. It's still Ronnie Pine though, coming towards the tower now. He's got this one pretty well passed up at the stage. He's getting away with every lap now. He's almost 100 metres clear and doing it pretty easy. Out in front is Ronnie Pine from New South Wales. The engine of the big Camaro backfires as he goes through the pit turn now, but he's got plenty of power under that right foot and he's using it as much as he can. Into the back straight he goes now. Ron Pine, roof number 16 from New South Wales, almost 120 metres clear now from Peter Aylett, the next man through from Tasmania in roof number 9. Then about 30 metres further back behind him we've got Michael Gray from Tasmania. There's one going over on the infield here. In fact, the yellow lights have come on. There's a wheel come off the car of Pedro Smith from New South Wales. It's rolling around down there. Sorry, it's the front wheel of the 42 car of Robbie Foggo. I saw Pedro Smith go into the infield there and disappear in a cloud of dust, and I assumed that the wheel had come off his car, but in fact it's come off the 42 machine of Robbie Foggo from the Ronnie Pine from New South Wales leads them around from Peter Aylett from Tasmania. Then we go back to Michael Gray from Tasmania in roof number 36. The next one through in roof number 4 would be John West from Tasmania as they get a restart now. And Ronnie Pine leads them off. There's only one lap to go in the sprint to the finish. Can Ronnie Pine hold him off again? He's getting away down the back straight. It's only a 1 lap dash and Ronnie Pine's doing it pretty easy now. The New South Welshman goes down the pit turn for the final time after the restart. Ronnie Pine from New South Wales takes the checkered flag. Second place will go to Peter Aylett from Tasmania. The next one across the line will be Michael Gray from Tasmania, followed by John West from Tasmania. The next one through would be Tony Grinstead from Victoria. Then we go back to Steve Brearley from Tasmania. And as they go down the back straight, about to get a start now for Heat 19 of the 1993 Peter Jackson Australian Super Sedan Championship. They build the revs now, and in fact they're off as they come past the tower here. Oh, Michael Bogorski in car 17 went way out wide, and Terry Rickstein got a serve that time from Kim Reid, and there's all sorts of trouble there in turn 2 as Anthony Mannion goes infield to have a look at Rickstein and say, how you going, Terry? Are you okay, mate? I saw you go off and I thought I'd better go off in sympathy. On a full lap, the man at the back of the grid, Grenville Anderson, waiting way back for a flyer now as they get a start this time. Latham leads the way. That's Donnie Latham in roof number 39. Right behind him is a fellow Hobart driver in roof number 35, Kim Reid. In fact, Reid goes up underneath Latham that time, but there's no room because Latham keeps the Camaro down. Now Reid gets underneath him now. Kim Reid from Hobart leads him past the tower for the first time. It's Reed leading the way from Donny Latham in roof number 38. The next one behind them is roof number 21. That's the reigning Tasmanian champion, David Nichols. He's been going really strongly this weekend, and he's assured of a start in the final. There's no risk about that. Right behind him, we've got Anthony Mannion in roof number 10, the Northern Territorian champion, Terry Rickstein in roof number 27, now slipping back. And then we go back to, the 17 car of Michael Bogorski and Grenville Anderson in roof number 41. I think is taking it easy because he knows he's got pole for the final and he doesn't have to prove a damn thing in this heat. The leader, though, down the back straight is Kim Reid from Tasmania. Kim Reid in roof number 35, doing it pretty easy now, about 40 metres clear from Donny Latham in roof 38. The two Tasmanians out in front now, coming under a bit of pressure from their own reigning state champion, David Nichols, in roof number 21. Nichols looking for a way round the outside, but he mucked it up that time. Now Latham goes wide and leaves the door open for Nichols. Nichols has got more power down the back straight, but Latham's matching it for him now. Latham gets him through that time now. Nichols up into second place, and he starts to chase out in front on Kim Reid. Nichols now trying desperately to make up the gap to the leader, but Kim Reid is the leader down the back straight. He's about 40 metres clear now from David Nichols. Terry Rickstein up underneath Donny Latham now into third place, and he's also putting a big charge on David Nichols. Oh, Rickstein's gone around, and he's hit Latham too. Oh, Latham come into him a little bit sideways. And Rickstein really mucked it up that time coming out of turn 4. He's got to get around is the man in front, and that's Kim Reid in roof number 35, the Hobart man from Tasmania. It's Kim Reid leads them off now as they get the restart. Reid in 35 now. Rickstein's right up underneath him as they go down the back straight with there can't be more than 2 or 3 laps left to go now. Reid gets away a little bit from Rickstein. The next one through is Don Latham, also from Tasmania, in roof number 38, and also Michael Bogorski there from Tasmania doing a good job in the 17 car, and the reigning state champion from Tasmania, David Nichols, stuck at the rear of the grid with nowhere to go this time. Now he gets under the inside of Michael Bogorski up into 4th place, but he's got a big job ahead of him because almost 100 metres in front of him is the leader. And that's him coming towards the tower now. Kim Reid in car number 35 from Tasmania. He's got the Northern Territory champion, Terry Rickstein, in roof number 27, right behind him now. They go down the back straight. There's only about 15 metres between them. Into the pit turn they go one more time, and it's Reid with Rickstein right under his back left-hand corner now. But Reid's got a bit more power on the straight line. He gets away a little bit that time from Rickstein. Down the back straight they go now. Reid just edging away slightly, but you watch Rickstein close up under brakes in the pit turn, and in fact he does. That's where he's making up a lot more ground through that turn, but he's got to go a bit quicker if he's going to get round the outside of Kim Reid now. A great race out in front for the lead between Tasmania's Kim Reid and Terry Rickstein from the Northern Territory. David Nichols, the Tasmanian champion, now up into 3rd place, but there's only a bit over 11.5 to go, and I don't think he can improve much from there. The leader, Kim Reid, comes past the tower now, and the white flag is out, indicating 1 lap to go. Kim Reid from Tasmania down the back straight for the final time, but he's still got the Northern Territory champion right behind him, and he won't be able to back off at all until he sees the checkered flag. It's Kim Reid now coming round into the home turn for the final time to greet the judge. He takes the win as the fireworks go off on the infield. A great win for Kim Reid. Right behind him we've got Terry Rickstein, the Northern Territory champion, and the next one across the line would be David Nichols from Tasmania. And as you can see, there's fireworks both on and off the track tonight. So you can expect a crackerjack heat here for the 20th heat of the 1993 Peter Jackson Australian Super Sedan Championship. They're getting wound up down the back straight now as they come round towards the tower. Will they get a start? Yes, they've got a start, and away they go. Off the front, it's Darryl Stagg from Victoria. Oh, Will Turvey from Tassie's gone around there in turn 1. Their field get through safely by. They missed him fortunately, but we're going to get a restart, I would think, from the stewards, and Will Turvey will find himself sent to the rear of the grid for the restart. But as now they're about to get a restart, away they go now. Staggy off the front on the outside of him in 44. There's one gone round there, Stuart Robinson in car 15 from New South Wales. Now he gets through safely that time. Look at the man on the charge round the outside, 3 wide. It's Neville Harper from Tasmania. Oh, Robinson's gone around on the infield that time, and the fire crew are sent scattering all over the place, and he goes in there too. But the race is still continuing now. It's Darryl Stagg from Victoria leading the way down the back straight from Neville Harper, the Tasmanian, in roof number 22. Stuart Robinson parked down there on the inside of turn 3, hasn't moved, but the stewards are letting it go this time. It's Staggy leading the way as Darren Kane goes on the infield here in front of the tower in roof number 8, the former Tasmanian champion. Robinson now back out onto the track in roof number 19, but he's more than 11.5 down. At this stage, the leader is still Darryl Stagg from Victoria. Right behind him is Neville Harper, the Tasmanian, in roof number 22, in the big charging Thunderbird now. Down the back straight they go, the two red cars. One's a Falcon, a Ford, I should say, Thunderbird. The other one's a Commodore. So it's a battle of the makers out in front now. Harper switches to the outside in the Ford Thunderbird. Round the outside he goes, but Stagg's got a bit more power through the corners, and Harper has to drop back into second place now. They go down the back straight into the pit turn. A great race out in front between the two red cars. The red Commodore of Darryl Stagg from Victoria leading the way by about 15 metres from the red Ford Thunderbird of Tasmania's Neville Harper. A big gap back to the third place car of, it might be Will Turvey from Tasmania at this stage in 22. 26 I should say. The leader though is Darryl Stagg leading the way from Victoria, about 20 metres clear from the 22 car of the Tasmanian Neville Harper. The next one through is the 44 car of Will Turvey, but they're almost 100 metres behind the leader. Oh, Harper mucked it up that time, coming out of turn 4 into the home straight, and that allowed Darryl Stagg to get away from him. Darryl Stagg leads them down the back straight now, about 50, 60 metres clear from Neville Harper. Harper trying to make up ground. In fact, he's closing now as they go into the pit turn one more time. They come out towards us now. It's still Darryl Stagg, only just now about 30 metres from Neville Harper, who's making up ground with 4 laps to go. Down the back straight they go now. It's still Darryl Stagg from Victoria, and look at Harper closing up under brakes that time in the pit turn. He's definitely on the move. He's the fastest man on the track at the moment, Neville Harper, but he's not the one leading. He's got to get round Darryl Stagg from Victoria. It's Stagg who's led virtually from start to finish so far as they go down the back straight for the third last time. It's Stagg now. Look at Harper closing up under brakes there, but Stagg's definitely got more power in the Commodore as they go through the pit turns. The leader, though, is still Darryl Stagg down the back straight for the second last time now. About 20 metres clear from Harper. Can Harper close up now? This time he's a bit closer than he was last lap. He's right up onto the back now of Darryl Stagg as the white flag comes out indicating 1 lap to go. And the white flag to Neville Harper would be like a red rag to a bull. Down the back straight they go now. It's still Darryl Stagg now getting away from Harper down the back straight. About 20 metres now. Harper closes up again on the pit turn, but there's nowhere to go because Stagg's got the winning line underneath now, and he'll come round to take the checkered flag. Second across the line, Neville Harper from Tasmania. A big gap back to the third car, still coming at this stage, and that'll be Craig Lockwood from Tasmania takes third place, and a big gaggle of cars, including the reigning Australian champion Brad Scotcher, will take them across the line in 4th place. And what a great race out in front. And perhaps pick up his third one, and John West from Wynyard in Tasmania. They're the two on the front row. They've got the biggest chance to get into the final, but there's 15 or 16 guys behind them who've got a different idea about that. Stuart's still consulting the grid draw now, just making sure that everybody's in place. It is... Okay, away they go. Big bad Bert Vosberg, and about 4 rows back, pulled out 3 wide going down the home straight there, but he hasn't got the power to match the boys in front. Out in front is Tony Grinstead from Victoria leading the way at this stage in the big Falcon. He comes round now towards us, gets the thing really cranked up as he comes through the home turn. Right behind him is John West from Tasmania. The next one through, right behind them is Terry Rickstein from the Northern Territory, now slots in underneath John West. Oh, Westy pulls right back out of the traffic and sends John Rodder into the wall. There's a big pile up on the back straight. They're going everywhere. There's cars everywhere. John West is hooked up. Bert Vosbergen's gone right underneath him in the Pantera, and John West has parked his car right on top of Vosbergen. Also, Trevor Robinson's involved there. There's about 6 of them. But they get set now for the complete restart of the Repechage of the 1993 Peter Jackson Australian Super Sedan Championship. They come round now towards us, and the green lights on and away they go. Off the front is Tony Grinstead from Victoria leading the way as he was at the start of the last one. Right behind him we've got Bob Mclaughlin from Tasmania, Terry Rickstein from the Northern Territory. The sparks coming out of the front of Rickstein's car, and Bert Vosbergen's gone around, and over he goes, Bert Vosbergen. He's flipped the Pantera up against the wall. Stay right away from the wall there, people, please, in case there's leaking fuel as the fire crew head over there. People, right away from the wall, please. We must insist, get right away from the wall. Spectators, please stay right away. Oh, Bert Vosberg, and he went in a big way. You can see that thing happening from about 100 metres back, and he had nowhere to go up against the wall, buried the nose in, and the Pantera is up on its lid against the wall there. If someone could give us a signal, please, as soon as possible to let us know if Bert's okay. He's out of the car, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for Bert Vosberg, and that was a ride on the wild side. Well, I'd say, Ron, that Bert won't get a restart this time.
Not in that position he won't, Martin, that's for sure.
No, and you can see, as we were saying earlier on tonight, we weren't leading you up the garden path when we said the action was going to get thick and fast, and thicker and faster, because it's sheep station time.
Somebody can give us a signal that Vosberg is okay over there, can you please?
Yes, I can see him there. I can see him walking around. That's Bert in the green and white overalls. Not a very good way to go out of the Australian Championship, but as the two drivers that will get through to the final. Remember, the first two from the repechage only go through to the final. As the yellows come out now, and they can crank up the engines again according to the stewards, and we should get a restart fairly soon now. On the outside in the front row, Bob Mclaughlin from Tasmania. Then we go back to a couple more Tasmanians. Jared Harper in roof number 2. On the outside of him in roof number 38, Donnie Latham. As they get wound up now, they come round towards the tower. A pretty good start that time now. It's Grinstead leading the way again, but look at Jared Harper up underneath him now in roof number 2 in the Chev Monte Carlo. Bob Mclaughlin dropping back now a little bit in third place. Right behind him is Don Latham in roof number 38. But out in front, the man doing it pretty well so far at this stage is Tony Grinstead from Victoria. A little untidy that time. That allowed Jared Harper to make up a bit more ground now as they head down the back straight. Grinstead getting away just a little bit now from Harper. Harper closes up under brakes though that time going into the pit turn. He's only got to finish second to get into the final, but he wants to finish first because that's one more grid position if he can get there. The leader still Tony Grinstead going down the back straight. The next one behind him still Jared Harper. Bob Mclaughlin now the next one through in the red car has made a bit more ground up now. Closing in on Jared Harper under brakes that time. The next one behind him would be Don Latham in roof number 38 from Tasmania. Then we go back to the roof number 8 car of Darren Kane, the former Tasmanian champion, and right behind him, getting underneath him now, in fact, is Johnny Medcraft in the 6-cylinder Commodore, another Tasmanian going pretty well. They're the front bunch of 6 now as Medcraft dives underneath Kane, and there's one gone on the infield here. Bob Mclaughlin's gone on the infield in front of the tower. He's out of it at this stage, but out in front, it's still Tony Grinstead now leading the way into the pit turn. He's about 5 or 10 metres clear now from Jared Harper, who hasn't let him get away at all since the race started. About 40 metres back behind them, it's still Donnie Latham in the 49 car from Tasmania. The next one through, right on his tail, is the powerful 6-cylinder Commodore of Johnny Medcraft, also from Tasmania. There's 3 Tasmanians out there, but there's only 2 spots up for grabs, and one of them's taken by a Victorian at the moment, and he's the man in front. Tony Grinstead, roof number 45, leading him down the back straight. Right behind him is Jared Harper in roof number 2. A good race back behind him, about 30 metres further back for third place now. In fact, John Medcraft, oh, he's put Donnie Latham up wide into the wall that time. Oh, that's a pretty rough way to get into third place. And I don't know what the stewards will make of that one. In fact, the yellow flag has come out. So they might be going to send someone somewhere. I'm not going to say too much. I'll get my fingers smacked, but I'll tell you what. You can see why he's earned that nickname. As I said now, he's going to certainly provide some entertainment for us because he will be absolutely fired up. He will come from no man's land. Now Tony Grinstead from Victoria will lead them up to the starter, and away he goes, in fact, off the front now. 20 metres clear already. He's put a bit of daylight between himself and Jared Harper. I think he caught Harper napping that time at the start. Oh, Will Turvey's gone around up in turn 1 there. The Tasmanian in roof number 44. He got a bit of a shunt from behind that time. I didn't see who did it. The only mainlander left out there in the reportage at this stage is Tony Grinstead from Victoria, and he's the man leading him off the start now in roof number 45. As they head into the back straight, this time he's got Jared Harper all over the back of him in the number 2 Chev Monte Carlo. A bit of a gap back now of about 30 metres to Donnie Latham in the roof number 38. Right behind him is Darren Kane in roof number 8, and we find Phil O'Connor there in roof number 18, also tagging onto the back of this front bunch. The leader, though, is out in front into the back straight now already, and that's Tony Grinstead from Victoria in the roof number 45. He's got Jared Harper still right behind him. Harper hasn't let him out of his sights at all. Donnie Latham now, he's the man who's going to miss out on a place in the final if he doesn't do any better than second place at this stage. Darren Kane is blowing a radiator hose here in front of the tower in the number 8 car. Can he get off the track safely? Now he does, so that's the end of Kane's title assault. The leader, though, is past us again one more time. That's Tony Grinstead from Victoria, leading them into the back straight. About 20 metres clear now from Jared Harper, who's getting away from Donny Latham in 3rd place, and Phil O'Connor in no man's land in 4th place. And I think perhaps the 2 placings for the final may be decided even at this early stage, because the 2 men out in front are starting to put a bit of daylight between themselves and the rest of the field. And it's Tony Grinstead from Victoria leading them down the back straight into the pit turn. Roof number 45, Tony Grinstead from Victoria. He's driving a Holden Commodore and doing a pretty good job there, but right behind him we've got Jared Harper in roof number 2 in the Chev Monte Carlo now. He closed up a bit that time under brakes, but Grinstead gets away down the back straight. I think these are probably the 2 that are going to go through the final at this stage. Grinstead leads him up, leads Harper up past the tower now. Harper got the Chev Monte Carlo a bit sideways that time, but he gets a bit more drive now. He tries to make up ground as they go down the back straight yet again. It's Grinstead getting away now from Jared Harper, and Donny Latham in 3rd place in roof number 38 is starting to make up ground. Donny Latham can sense a chance here to get into the final. If he can tack onto the back of Harper and Grinstead, anything could happen. They're on their last lap now. He'll have to do it now, or it'll be too late as Grinstead goes down the back straight for the final time. Jared Harper, I think, will sit back and be quite happy to finish second. He'll qualify for the final from there. Donny Latham's going to miss out. Grinstead and Harper through to the final. Latham will miss out, and so will the rest of the field. Johnny Medcraft, the great drive up into 4th place after being sent to the rear of the grid, but unfortunately it won't be good enough. Grinstead and Harper through to the final. Tony Grinstead from Victoria, Jared Harper from Hellyer Beach in Tasmania. They'll make up grid positions 17 and 18.
Speaking now to Jared Harper. Jared, it's no good of saying thanks for coming to Latrobe because you're part of the furniture here, but all the best for this weekend at the title. How do you see your chances?
Well, we'll try and qualify first, I think, Peter. That's going to be the biggest thing, and once we get there, we'll just have to try and do what we can when it all happens. Dodge all the carnage, I think, will be the biggest job.
Tell me, is it a problem having a famous father like Neville? Have you got to great expectations to upkeep?
Yeah, well, it doesn't worry me. I think it worries everyone else more than anything. I just ignore the fact. He reminds me, he just digs me every time he beats me. That sort of gets to you a bit. Oh, there'll be a time.
There will be a time. It's coming in the near future, I can assure you. Who do you see as your chances?
To win the title tonight? Oh, it's a bit hard to say. I don't really know that many of the mainland cars because I've never ever raced in a mainland competition before. But I'd have to say Nev would be a big, strong chance on his home track. But no, I think there's going to be surprise amongst them. You know, there's the younger drivers got to be strong.
Go on.
Yeah, I just say the younger drivers are getting stronger and they're getting quicker, and every time the old fellas play a trick on them, you're getting that much smarter, I always say.
Okay, thank you. That's Jared Harper, a rising star of Tasmania. Bob Mclaughlin, one of the older type brigade that's been competing on Tasmania tracks now for quite some years. Bob, thanks for coming to Latrobe and particularly representing Tasmania.
It's a pleasure, Peter.
How do you see your chances going in the title?
Winning.
Okay, who's the hardest to beat?
Neville Harper.
Who else?
Peter Arlett.
Who else?
There's 2 or 3 young fellas that might get up and come into the fore.
Bob, how many years you've now been peddling these cars?
Super Sedans, 2 seasons. Sprint cars for 20 years.
You're not overawed by the occasion, are you?
No. Enjoying every minute of it.
That's right. Anyway, thanks very much for coming down, and may you have a good luck.
Thanks, Peter.
As we get ready for the big one now, the 1993 Peter Jackson Australian Super Sedan Championship. They're fairly well gridded up now. Out there, we've got the grid positions all down pat, and Craig Lockwood, the leading Tasmanian, on the outside of the second row. Let's hear it. Give them a big cheer as they come round this time, people towards the tower. They can hear you if you make enough noise there above all that thunder. How about a big cheer for all the contestants in the 1993 Peter Jackson Australian Super Sedan Championship. Yep, go. This is the one we've all been waiting for, the 1993 Peter Jackson Australian Super Sedan Championship. Down goes the green and away they go. 20 of them thunder into action here at the Peter Jackson International Raceway at Latrobe. It's Grenville Anderson from New South Wales leading them around. They got through the first turn safely, the whole lot of them. Anderson out in the front already, about 20 metres clear now from the defending champion, Brad Scotcher from New South Wales. Oh, there's a couple gone round there in turn 2 and between turn 3 and 4, and the fire crew have been sent scattering. Alan Baker was involved in that one. Also Peter Eilert from Tasmania, the former Australian champion. They go down the back straight now for the restart of the 1993 Peter Jackson Australian Super Sedan Championship. Come round now towards the tower, getting the revs built right up now. Let's see if they can get away cleanly this time. Off the front they go. It's Grenville Anderson leading the way. On the outside of him, trying desperately to get round him, is the defending champion, Brad Scotcher from South Australia. The next one through is Paul O'Neill from New South Wales in roof number 7. And look at them bucking and bulging down there as they go through the pit turn. Neville Harper in 22 from Tasmania got a bit of a shove that time. There's one gone on the infield there all over the place now, and that was Ronnie Pine from New South Wales. But the leader's bolted now. He's down the back straight already on the second lap, and that's Grenville Anderson from New South Wales. Brad Scotcher from South Australia, the defending champion, trying desperately to make up ground now. Anderson throwing the Commodore all over the place. He wants to win this one. 33 laps to go. This is going to be awesome now. Grenville Anderson leading him down the back straight. He's putting a bit of space between himself and the defending champion. Paul O'Neill from New South Wales in 3rd place in roof number 7, desperately trying to make up ground there. Also we've got Craig Lockwood from Tasmania in roof number 11. Neville Harper in 22 from Tasmania moves underneath Lockwood up into 4th place, and he tries to chase now on Paul O'Neill. It's a good race here for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, but the man out in front is Grenville Anderson, who's got away from him now. Anderson leads him into the back straight one more time. He's got that Commodore absolutely flying, but there's a long way to go yet. Anderson leads him down the back straight now. The Commodore, the number 41 machine, looks absolutely beautifully prepared, and it's really going like it looks at the moment. Past the tower he comes one more time. About 50 metres clear now from Brad Scotcher, the defending champion, who's getting a bit of pressure from Paul O'Neill from New South Wales in roof number 7. Then we go back to Neville Harper in roof number 22 from Tasmania. The former Australian champion would love to pick up another one here tonight. Right behind him is one of the big gents from Tasmania. That's Craig Lockwood in roof number 11, the Launceston driver. Then back to Alan Baker in roof number 12 from New South Wales. Not too far behind him, about 50 metres. In fact, we see that the Tasmanian champion, David Nichols from Launceston, and Ron Pine from New South Wales leading in the bunch of the rest of them at this stage. The leader, though, is halfway down the back straight again now, and that's Grenville Anderson from New South Wales. He's taken it all before him this weekend, and he's going away with it at this stage. He's the man who sold for the most in the Calcutta. He's the man who set the fastest time at practice on Thursday night, and he's the man who set the within 1/10 of a second of the lap record here last night, and he's out there meaning to make this Australian title his very own. Anderson now, drifting nicely through the turns into the home straight he goes. He's got the number 41 Commodore absolutely cranked up to its peak performance. Into the back straight he goes now. He's opened the gap to about 100 metres from the 2nd place car of Paul O'Neill from New South Wales. Neville Harper from Tasmania up into 3rd place now, and the reigning champion Brad Scotcher is in a bit of trouble in 4th place. He comes up underneath Neville Harper this time and gives him one for his quarter. Harper now in 3rd place, but Scotcher hasn't given up the chase yet. He's still pushing hard there. Right behind him we've got also Alan Baker from New South Wales. There's one gone round here in front of the tower, and that's Phil Rogers from Tasmania, but he's safely off to the infield, and they'll keep on racing. Oh, Brad Scotcher's gone, the reigning Australian champion. He's gone around in a big way. Also Alan Baker from New South Wales, and in front of the tower here we've got the Tasmanian Craig Lockwood, and I don't think Lockwood will get a restart because the front of his car is pushed right down over the front of his right-hand tyre, and he can't steer the thing. This is the one we want for Neville Harper from Hellier Beach. Can he do it? But he's got a couple of quick New South Wales in front of him at the moment, and one of them is the very quick Grenville Anderson, who leads him off the start this time. Into the back straight he goes now. Anderson already getting away. They've only gone half a lap, and look at the gap he's opened up already. 50 metres it is at Grenville Anderson. He has got some sort of power under the bonnet of this Commodore. Anderson now leads him into the back straight one more time, getting away just a little bit more from Paul O'Neill from New South Wales. The New South Welshman in the Pontiac coming under a bit of pressure now from Neville Harper from Tasmania in car 22. The next one behind him would be Alan Baker in roof number 12, and right behind him is Ron Pine from New South Wales, followed by the reigning Australian Tasmanian champion in David Nichols. The leader, though, is about 150 metres in front of Nichols, and that's him heading down into the pit turn now, coming onto the home straight, and that's Grenville Anderson from New South Wales. 3 times Australian champion. He's won the New South Wales Championship a couple of times as well, and he's out there trying to run down the Australian Championship for an unprecedented 4th time. If he gets this one, it will be Australian motorsport history. Grenville Anderson past the tower now. Beautiful. beautifully cranked up is the Commodore. He's driving it fantastically, gets it nicely switched around that time. Into the back straight he goes now. He's opened the gap to about 80 metres from Paul O'Neill in the roof car number 7. Go! Neville Harper's been pushed around. I tell you, well, Neville Harper definitely got a bit of a shove that time, and Alan Baker from New South Wales was involved in that one. But also there's another couple of cars over there. There's no love lost between these guys at this stage as they head down the back straight with 14 laps down in the 1993 Peter Jackson Australian Super Sedan Championship, and away they go again. It's Grenville Anderson leading off the front one more time. Anderson in car 41. Down the back straight he goes now in the big Commodore, but he's got 3 of his fellow New South Welshmen right behind him now. That's Paul O'Neill in roof number 7, also from New South Wales. Big bad Alan Baker right there also in roof number 12 from New South Wales, and Ronnie Pine from New South Wales in roof number 16. The first Tasmanian in the field at this stage is right behind them there. And that's the wheel come off down the back straight there. Someone's lost the wheel. Someone has lost the wheel as the field come through there. Safely get by it, hopefully. I think it might have come off Neville Harper's car. I can't see him out there at the moment. He's gone into the middle. It is, in fact, off Neville Harper's car. The back left-hand wheel has come off Neville Harper's car, so that's a shame for the Tasmanian there. The one they've got to beat at the moment is Grenville Anderson from New South Wales, roof number 41, leads them around for the restart, and he blasts away again, Grenville Anderson. He's got so much power under the bonnet of this Commodore, it is just unbelievable. He gets away a little bit now from Paul O'Neill, his fellow New South Welshman down the back straight now. O'Neill in roof number 7 gets a bit of a touch underneath from Alan Baker in roof number 12. The next one through is Ron Pine in roof number 16. Then we go back to the American, Ronnie Adams giving a bit of a go there with the reigning Tasmanian champion David Nichols, but Nichols gets Adams this time down the back straight, and he'll move back up into 4th place. A great race here for the 2 in 4th place. As Adams gets round the outside of Nichols yet again now, up into 4th place. But there's 3 more cars in front of them going very quickly, including the leader, Grenville Anderson, down the back straight now. He goes in the big number 41 Commodore. The next one through in roof number 7 is Paul O'Neill, getting a bit of a serve now from Alan Baker, the New South Welshman. There's no love lost between these 3, battling for 2nd, 3rd and 4th place. There's no state loyalties either, I can tell you, as they go down the back straight. There isn't anything in it between these 3. It's every man for himself in the Australian title, but right now the 3 New South Welshmen have got to beat one of their co-state inhabitants out in front. And that's Grenville Anderson going down the back straight now. He's opened the gap of about 80 metres from Paul O'Neill. The New South Welshman doing it pretty easy at this stage, looking the goods too. There can't be more than about 15 laps to go now as the countdown continues. Grenville Anderson from New South Wales mucked it up a little bit that time going out of turn 2 into the back straight, but his lead was that good that it didn't matter. Anderson now cranks the thing sideways into the home straight. It's going beautiful, this big Commodore now. Into the back straight he goes once again, but it's a great race back in the field for 2nd, 3rd and 4th as Paul O'Neill getting heaps of pressure from Alan Baker, and the next one through is Ron Pine. We'll stick with these 2 or 3 at the moment because that's where the race is, because Grenville Anderson is about 100 metres clear in front, so we'll just watch the race here for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Paul O'Neill leading the way in 2nd place. Trying to get underneath him there was Alan Baker, but O'Neill shut the gate that time and Baker had to back off right behind him. Oh, look at the move there from Ronnie Pine, but there was no room at all because Baker kept it low and he made Pine back off in turn. They go into the back straight one more time. O'Neill's just getting away from him a little bit now. Baker tries to put a bit of daylight between himself and Ron Pine, but Ronnie Pine isn't going to have a bar of that. The next one through would be the number 6 car of the American Ronnie Adams, but we've got a stoppage because Anthony Mannion from Tasmania has parked his car down here on the home straight just out of...
Finish in the top 10, you've done a pretty excellent job to be in that position.
Well, that's right, Ron, but there's an old saying in motorsport, and I guess you've heard it many, many times, to finish first. First you've got to finish, and unfortunately there's a growing graveyard on the infield there, but we've still got about 15 pretty quick cars out there from the original starting group of 20. And plenty of more great action to come, and quite a few laps to go, I should suggest. Come round towards us this time and get a restart, in fact, for the 1993 Peter Jackson Australian Super Sedan Championship, and away they go again. It's Grenville Anderson off the front now, leading it away from Paul O'Neill from New South Wales yet again. Alan Baker into third place still, and Ronnie Pine. The order hasn't changed for about the last 10 laps, but look at the American there in 5th position, making a big move, and that's Ronnie Adams from the USA in the Commodore roof number 26. Right behind him we've got Darryl Stagg from Victoria, and the reigning Tasmanian champion David Nichols, finding it pretty tough going out there amongst all those mainlanders and overseas drivers. Right behind him in roof number 45, in roof number 19 I should say, we've got Stuart Robinson from New South Wales. Oh, there's a big bunch of New South Welshmen out there, and they're all over the place, including the front 4 positions. The leader, though, is still Grenville Anderson from New South Wales into the pit turn now. He's about 40 or 50 metres clear from this great race for 2nd, 3rd and 4th between the other 3 New South Welshmen. It's Paul O'Neill in 2nd place in roof number 7. Alan Baker trying to get up underneath him now in roof number 12. And right behind him, Ronnie Pines waiting for either of them to make a mistake, and he'll shoot through to 2nd place. Anderson still leading the way, but a great race here for 2nd. It's Paul O'Neill now, and Alan Baker again. Baker got underneath him that time, but O'Neill shut the gate as they go into the back straight. O'Neill's got a bit more power in a straight line, but Baker seems to make it up through the turns now. And Baker closed up again under brakes going into the pit turn. O'Neill goes ho. Baker stiffs the nose underneath. Can he get through this time? But O'Neill's got a bit more power. Baker underneath him this time. Baker up into 2nd place now down the back straight, and away he goes. Alan Baker up into 2nd place. He starts the chase now on the leader, which is Grenville Anderson, and I think he's starting to make a bit of ground too. He's putting a bit of daylight between himself and O'Neill. They go into the back straight now. I think Grenville Anderson, in fact, may be starting to slow down. The gap seems to be getting smaller and smaller. It was up to about 100 metres a while ago, but now it's down to about 50 or 60. Grenville Anderson, the former 3-times Australian champion, reigning New South Wales champion, into the back straight now he goes. The gap's down to about 50 metres from Alan Baker, also from New South Wales. Then we go back to another New South Welshman in Paul O'Neill in roof number 7. A good race for 4th position now between Ronnie Pine from New South Wales and the American Ronnie Lamb. The 2 Ronnies going for it. In 4th place round the outside, Lamb tries to get through, but Pine keeps the Commodore down low and makes Lamb work very hard. Last lap already by you, that came up quickly. 1 lap to go for Grenville Anderson. 1 lap to go for Grenville Anderson down the back straight for the last time. You're looking at the new Australian champion, 4-times Australian champion, Grenville Anderson, coming round to get the checkered flag. This is Australian motorsport history happening right before your eyes. Grenville Anderson from New South Wales, the Australian champion. Alan Baker from New South Wales will take 2nd place. 3rd place will go to Ronnie Pine, also from New South Wales. 4th place to Paul O'Neill from New South Wales. The New South Wales Welshmen, they have absolutely creamed everyone here this weekend. They came, they saw, they conquered, but the man who's done it all, Grenville Anderson, the new Australian champion, put your hands together for him.
And what a performance, ladies and gentlemen. Grenville Anderson, the new Australian Super Sedan Championship, top effort, a perfect score here this weekend at the Peter Jackson International Raceway, and what a performance indeed. Grenville Anderson, congratulations. We'll go down trackside very shortly to Martin Agaton and the Peter Jackson ladies and gentlemen for the presentations. But don't forget, stay around, ladies and gentlemen. We have a fireworks display coming up very shortly as soon as the presentations have come. But put your hands together for Grenville Anderson, the new Australian Super Sedan champion for 1993. Must be pretty exhausted. He's got a job to stand up in a straight line, but a pretty ecstatic sort of a man. A top effort, a top drive, as I said, a perfect score for the weekend. And what more can you do that? Okay, we'll head down trackside to Martin Agaton now for the presentations. Over to you, Martin.
Thanks, Ron. I'm down here trackside and the celebrations have started already. But first of all, we'll work our way up from third place. And to do the presentations here, I've got the state manager for Peter Jackson and Philip Morris Limited, Graeme Lee. Graeme, you must be pretty pleased with the Peter Jackson 1993 Australian Super Sedan Championship.
Yes, Martin, it was a terrific race. I think everybody certainly got their money's worth, and the New South Wales boys really showed us the way.
Okay, Graeme, we've got a couple of very important presentations to make here. Third place in the 1993 Peter Jackson Australian Super Sedan Championship goes to Ron Pine from New South Wales. Ron, if you could come forward, please. We've got some very important things to give to you here, including a trophy and a sash. Congratulations, Ron. A great drive. You fellas certainly came down here and showed us how to do it this weekend.
Yes, we did. Shit bags, eh? This is the closest I've ever come. I'd like to thank my pit crew, my wife, and everybody connected with my race car. I've never been short of words, and I guess I am now. No excuses. You can't take it off the winner. He was good. I'm not saying it would have been a little different if we'd have got through earlier. I think Alan and I were taking it pretty easy there. All credit to Paul O'Neill for holding us out that long. I mean, you know, when you've got a car that won't go around a corner and you hold on for that long, that's a bit of a credit there too. I'd like to congratulate Grenville on his final thing. He should have won it last year. I told him that. And he's done good tonight. I'd like to congratulate Alan. And once again, I'd like to thank the Tasmanian people and the promoter and my wife. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron, and congratulations to Graeme Lee to make the presentation.
Ron, on behalf of the Peter Jackson Company, congratulations on your third. Tremendous drive, and it was a great effort to finish where you did.
One more. The old Latrobe Motel at whatever this place is called. And the people that got me across the big blue highway, TT lines, without them I wasn't coming, because they split the difference on my share. But they tell me you people are going for a little bit of money, like highway money off the government next year, to coincide, to help out us people to come across the water. It's a big thing to come across here. It cost me $5,000 to see this race, and that is not telling any lies. So if you can get some sort of subsidy approved by the government for the big blue road over the water, you'll get a lot more of us Australians, because I think this is the best kept secret in Australia.
Thanks, Ron, and we wholeheartedly agree with you. I hope you think it was $5,000 well spent, by the way. Okay, second place in the Peter Jackson 1993 Australian Super Sedan Championship, another New South Welshman, Alan Baker. Congratulations, Alan Baker.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to first thank Peter Jackson very much for putting up the dollars to bring us guys all together. Without people like Peter Jackson, we wouldn't have a Speedway. And you get those people connected with that other deal that want to get rid of cigarettes, don't they? But I'd like to thank the other fellow competitors who want to run this weekend. Paul O'Neill, Ron Pine, myself, especially Grenville Anderson. He'd have to be the greatest driver this country's ever seen, and I'm proud to run second to him. I run second to him the New South Wales style of Canberra, and he's just one hell of a man to race with. And I've had a shit of a week since I've been here. I've tore up more panels and bits and pieces than you can poke a forky stick at. But I must thank the guy that owns the car, him and his wife, Steen Earth Moving Maureen. And like Ron, TT lines, without them, we wouldn't have got here. And to all the officials of this track have been great. I won't say about another one. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Alan. Congratulations. Graeme Lee again to make the presentation.
Yes, Alan, congratulations on running second. And I'm sure with all the problems that you've had this week, that tonight now to run second, it's really makes it worthwhile. Congratulations, well done.
Thank you. Maybe I've been in every newspaper this week. I think I've had TT for a bit more money. I must thank my crew. I've had a couple of local guys, Morris Jones and Chris, I don't know his last name, and Darren Kane flew over from Australia. And of course you can see my lovely wife and beautiful daughter travel everywhere. I go without a lot. Even though I don't own the car, it still costs a lot to go and race.
I reckon we talk a lot, mate. I think you better give it to the next bloke.
This is the only time we get up here. Anyhow, thanks. And also Dave Nichols, who's been putting me up while I've been here. Thank you. I'll get out of here.
Thank you, Alan. Congratulations. A great effort to come second to the 4 times Australian champion now. Okay, this is the man we all came to see. He went for $800 in the Calcutta on Wednesday night. I think it was money well spent. I thought certain that Darren Stagg would agree with it. He was the fastest man in practice. He was the fastest man here last night, went within a 1/10 of a second of the lap record. This is the 4 times Australian Super Sedan champion, Grenville Anderson.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Grenville. How does it feel to win number 4? Is it any better than the other 3?
They're all pretty good. It feels good. It's been a long time since I had an Australian title. But I just got to thank so many people. Just a special thank you to Murray Gegg and Murray's Race Cars and Parts. Without him, I wouldn't be here. And he's just too good to me. I don't deserve what he gives me, but I thank you, Murray. Thank you very much for everything you've done. And I hope this satisfies you now. You've got a couple of ones on the side now. Slatters West End Service Station, just the local ones. And Bramble Shipping. Thanks to them very much for getting us here and helping us get here. To do Scully and Joe and Tits and special Billy Mann, who builds the best engines I've ever had, ever will have, and I won't run anything else but a Bill Mann engine. Thanks to Bill. And just thank you to the fellow competitors. Congratulations to Alan and Ron. It's just a terrific feeling. We've had a really good weekend. We've won every race we went in except for the 5th heat, which I didn't have to win anyway. So I can't say much more than thanks to the promotion and the ASCF, and thanks to all the spectators that come, because without them we wouldn't have Speedway.
Thank you, Grenville, and congratulations. To make the presentation yet again, Graeme Lee, State Manager of Peter Jackson. We've got to thank Peter Jackson and also Coastal Express Line and Southern Cross Network, our major sponsors. But Graeme's got a few words. We're going to make you wait just a little bit longer before you get that sash that you've been working so hard for, because Graeme would also like to say a few words before he makes this final presentation.
Thank you, Martin. I'd just like to thank the people of the Peter Jackson International Raceway for the tremendous support they give us throughout the year, and particularly this weekend, which I'm sure you will all agree has been a tremendous success. I would also like to thank Mr. Ian Braid, our local member, for the support that he gives us, particularly in reference to tobacco sponsorship. I only wish that a few of his federal members would also stand up and give us a bit of support, and it's great to see that the Speedway people also support our sponsorship. To you, Grenville, congratulations. A tremendous effort to be 4 times Australian champion is no mean feat. You drove tremendously, your car was perfect. That's why you're here receiving this, and I'm sure you'll receive many more. Thank you very much, and well done.
Okay, now Graeme Lee making the presentation. Has been given the trophy. Also the sash to come from the Peter Jackson girls. Hang on a second, Grenville.
Got the sash there, Grenville.
Grenville's about to be sashed by the Peter Jackson girls. He's worked hard for this one, and he's definitely a champion, and I think I'll probably agree with Alan Baker, possibly the best sedan driver that Australian Speedway has ever produced. Put your hands together once more for the new reigning 4 times Australian Super Sedan champion, Grenville Anderson from New South Wales. Okay, we'll just have a couple of official photographs with the 1st, 2nd and 3rd drivers, and then they're going to hop in the Bob Jane T-Mart's ute for that very much awaited lap of victory. And as soon as they've done their lap of victory, we will go into the fireworks. You've seen plenty of fireworks on the track tonight, and the fireworks finale we will have will be in the air above the arena. Please stay by and watch it, and also please give the Australian champion the adulation and the credit